China is an ally of Russia. Russia is the dominant partner, so we deal with Russia rather than with China. When the Prophet ﷺ told us that you will make an alliance with Rome, the implication is that the Russian-led alliance will not submit to Dajjal eventually. That the Russian-led alliance therefore would not submit to Israel as the ruling state. Russia will not bend her knee to Israel, and therefore China also will not bend her knee to Israel. The implication is that there is going to be therefore rivalry between the two. The Zionist alliance, the Anglo-American Israeli alliance on the one hand, and the Russian-led alliance on the other. This is eventually going to lead to nuclear war, because Russia will not submit to Israel. But they, on the other hand, the Zionists, are pursuing a pig-headed obsession to rule the world, and therefore to rule over Russia and China as well. They simply cannot get out of that obsession. And so we are heading towards nuclear war. And in nuclear war, it is the cities which are going to be first destroyed. Those who live in the cities are going to be incinerated. I was of the opinion that perhaps that nuclear war is about 20 or 25 years away from now. I am afraid I have bad news. I think I'm wrong. Yes, I think I'm wrong. I believe that the nuclear war is sooner rather than later. Why? I believe that Israel does not mind at all provoking nuclear war. No, she doesn't mind. If nuclear war will get rid of millions and billions of people and bring about a substantial reduction in the world population. Amongst those that Israel would like to see eliminated are Arabs. But the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ is that the Arabs are going to be wiped out by plague. There's an essay on my website on swine flu plague. Please read that essay because the relevant hadith are in that essay. The Arabs are going to be wiped out by plague. You are most vulnerable if you are in the cities. I think that wiping out of the Arabs by plague is going to be sometime within the next 5 years. I see no reason why. I see absolutely no reason why I should not offer an opinion about a time frame, particularly when I emphasize that I can be wrong. When I offer an opinion concerning time frame, at least I force you to think that we are not 500 years away from it. Huh? So why the objections? If you are in the cities of the Arab world, if you are in Cairo, you are most vulnerable when the plague attack hits. And so if you move out of the cities into the remote countryside, there is more security for you. But I want to direct attention to the ayah which is in Surah Al-Isra, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks, and He says, بَعْدَ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ وَإِن مِّن قَرْيَةٍ إِلَّا نَحْنُ مُهْلِكُوهَا قَبْلَ يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ أَوْ مُعَذِّبُوهَا عَذَابًا شَدِيدًا كَانَ ذَلِكَ فِي الْكِتَابِ مَسْطُورًا. Another single town or city will escape. They're all going to be destroyed. Or punish those which escape destruction would be punished with terrible punishment. And so that nuclear warfare that's coming perhaps is the means through which this destruction will take place. And Russia is not going to bow to Israel, and as a consequence, Russia is going to respond with nuclear weapons when attacked. I believe that's the role that Russia has to play. I can be wrong. Remember that I can be wrong. I believe that they are going to be phasing out paper money, because paper money has already done the job it was designed to do, meaning to rip off mankind and reduce part of mankind, particularly the world of Islam, to poverty and destitution, and bring about a massive transfer of wealth, an unjust transfer of wealth from the masses around the world, the non-European masses, to Europe, to those who gave us the world of paper money. And this is going to be beneficial, of course, to Israel. But the banking system will operate more efficiently. The banking system will be able to take better control of the world and of governments in the world if all of money in the money system of the world becomes electronic money. And therefore I believe the sterling pound, the paper sterling pound, has a very insignificant future ahead of it, and that it is the electronic pound, or perhaps it's going to be one world currency. They don't need all of these currencies. There's going to be one world currency, like there's going to be one world government. It is the electronic money which will take over from the paper money. My last comment is, what will Allah do to a people who live in wonderland, who are sleeping in a world of slumber and bliss, just going to the masjid and going back home, going to the masjid and going back home, when the masjid itself is built with money that is paper money, that is riba? Will Allah accept salat in a building built with riba money and declared to be a masjid? Next question.